Will coding message. Beep.
Hello everybody, I'm Bethany and this is my man Finnley, and today we are going to talk about the magical element of theme. The definition of theme can be articulated in many ways. The dictionary defines theme as a subject. However, this can be deceiving when discussing theme in writing because theme is more complex than that. In addition to looking at what theme is, it was helpful for me to look at what theme is not. Theme is not the subject or subjects of any given piece of writing. For instance, in Shirley Jackson's short story, The Lottery, some subjects I picked out are family, community, and rules. But these certainly are not the themes of the story. Symbols are also not themes. In the story, some symbols are the black box, the lottery, the stones. If you take a look at number 14 on the handout, 25 Things Writers Should Know About Theme, it makes a great distinction between theme and subject. It says, I'll sometimes read that theme can be expressed as a single word, love, death, plastics. Let me offer my own one word to that, bullshit. Those are motifs, elements and symbols that show up again and again in the story. Motif is not synonymous with theme. Death is not theme. Man can learn from death is a theme. Life is stupid because we all die is a theme. Sex and death are uncomfortable neighbors is a theme. Death is just a word, an inconclusive and unassertive word. Theme says something.
This one?
There you go. So theme is not subjects or symbols or motifs, but theme is also not a question. Let's read number 18 on the list. So too, it is that theme is never a question. How far will man go for love is a question, not a theme. Theme isn't a big blank spot. Theme is the answer, right or wrong, good or bad. Theme, if theme is the answer, what is the question? The questions are the outcome of trying to grasp some tangible explanation of our lives and the nature of humanity. The theme or the answer to these questions become more like a personal argument. Let's read number 1 on the list. Every story is trying to say something. It's trying to beam an idea, a message, into the minds of the readers. In this way, every story is an argument. It's the writer making a case. It's the writer saying, all of life is suffering, or man will be undone by his prideful reach, or love blows, or if you dance with the devil wombat, you get cornholed by the devil wombat. This argument is the story's theme. So, what are the themes in the lottery? A couple of themes I picked out are following tradition blindly is dangerous. Persecution can be random. Note that while the symbols and subjects we discussed earlier contribute to the theme, they are very different. Also notice how the themes are strong opinion statements. I hope I defined theme in a clear and cohesive manner. I would like to further discuss how we can use theme in our own writing to make it stronger. But first, I can talk about my own struggles with theme. Even though they say it's helpful to know your theme before you write your story, I don't always know my theme because I'm just getting to know the work myself. So I have to wait for the theme to come to me. Then there's the matter of making sure that it's weaved through the story so it just doesn't come off as too obvious or too covert or just a random add-on. So while these are pretty standard struggles, I still think they are surface struggles. Reading stories like The Lottery is important to infuse writing elements into your craft. But more than that, reading stories with great themes, I think help gain the confidence to write your own strong themes rather than just mainstream weak ones. That is what I aspire to do. So how do we add theme to our writing? Number 2 on the list reads, if the theme, then, is the writer's thesis statement, then all elements of the story, character, plot, word choice, scene development, inclusion of the devil wombat, go toward proving that thesis. But I'd like to look specifically at character and plot. Whatever is motivating the character to take action in a story, internal and external conflicts combined, is what moves the story and works with the plot to reveal theme. So looking at it like the thing your character wants as the plot, and the thing your character needs is the theme, it isn't necessarily that simple. Let's read number 19. Plot can carry theme by asking the question, like the aforementioned, how far will man go for love? But then it's theme's job to stick the landing and, by the end of the story, answer the question posed. Theme comes back around and demonstrates this is how far man will go for love. It shows if man will go into the whale's mouth and out the whale's keister, or it shows man has limitations, or if man's love can be defeated by other elements, greed, lust, fear, microwave ovens, wombats. A character may not know what he needs, and through the plot of conflicts or questions, he may finally come to the answer, or the theme, that he was searching for, good or bad, right or wrong. The function of the plot isn't just to arrive at questions and answers and something that moves the story along, but in addition, plot is what holds the story together, along with the characters to reveal a theme, good or bad. It is not a fable. Or a determining answer that a character will be willing to sacrifice his wants in order to gain his need, new, found, or long-standing. In order to isolate the themes in your own writing, it's helpful to look at the other elements all working together to support it. Anything that doesn't contribute to this probably is extraneous and will only deter away from theme. I picked out a few passages in the lottery that I feel goes with the theme, and they're all highlighted in your own handouts. But the specific theme of following tradition blindly is dangerous, without being too overt or covert. And the first one's on page 1. No one liked to upset even as much tradition as was represented by the black box. So no one liked to question any sort of tradition that had been happening for so long. Page 2. At one time, some people remembered there had been a recital of some sort performed by the official of the lottery, a perfunctory, tuneless chant that had been rattled off duly each year. Some people believed that the official of the lottery used to stand just so when he said or sang it. Others believed that he was supposed to walk among the people. But years and years ago, this part of the ritual had been allowed to lapse. There had been, also, a ritual salute, which the official of the lottery had to use in addressing each person who came up to draw from the box. But this also had changed with time. Until now, it was felt necessary only for the official to speak to each person approaching. So even though this goes into detail about how the rituals are changing, the tradition of killing someone at the end of it has not changed. And on page 3, the people had done it so many times they only half listened to the directions. So this is kind of like going with the flow and not questioning. They've done it so many times they do it without thought. And on page 4, they do say, Mr. Adams said to Old Man Warner, who stood next to him, that over in the North Village they're talking of giving up the lottery. Old Man Warner snorted. Pack of crazy fools, he said. Listening to the young folks, nothing's good enough for them. Next thing you know, they'll be wanting to go back to living in caves, nobody work anymore, live that way for a while. Used to be a saying about lottery in June, corn be heavy soon. First thing you know, we'd all be eating stewed chickweed and acorns. There's always been a lottery, he added petulantly. Bad enough to see young Joe Summers up there joking with everybody. Some places have already quit lotteries, Mrs. Adams said. Nothing but trouble in that, Old Man Warner said stoutly. Pack of young fools. So this is interesting because it shows how questioning tradition is met with criticism, as if they're almost just being like a traitor, like they're not as in it as they used to be. And then on page 6, the crowd was quiet. The crowd was quiet, a girl whispered. I hope it's not Nancy, and the sound of the whisper reached the edges of the crowd. It's not the way it used to be, Old Man Warner said clearly. People ain't the way they used to be. So this is again using character and dialogue to kind of to show that that difference between there are the rituals, but that the tradition is not necessarily changing. And then on page 7, or the last page, says, and I think this is the most important or telling line of the whole story. Although the villagers had forgotten the ritual and lost the original black box, they still remembered to use the stones. That is super, super strong. They had forgotten what it was all about, and yet they still can remember that feeling of just killing someone, and that's okay to them. Okay. There are many passages like these throughout the story that uses symbols and subjects, along with setting, plot, and character, among many other elements, that all work together to create the theme of the lottery. Some questions I found helpful to ask myself when critiquing my own theme in writing are, does my theme work in harmony with my other elements? Is my theme settling to be too safe? Is it too overt, too covert? Is it a preachy sermon? Let's read number 10. Theme can do a story harm. It isn't a bludgeoning device. A story is more than just a conveyance for your message. The message is just one component of your story. Overwrought themes become belligerent within the text, like a guy yelling in your ear, smacking you between the shoulder blades with his Bible. Theme is a drop of poison, subtle, unseen, but carried in the bloodstream to the heart and brain just the same. Repeat after me, pen monkeys, your story is not a sermon. And the last question, is your theme strong? Let's read one more. 17. In English class, I was often told that theme could be best described as X versus Y, man versus nature, man versus man, man versus woman, fat guy versus hammock. Of course, English class was frequently stupid. Once more, I'm forced to call bullshit. Theme isn't just you, the writer, identifying a struggle. That's not enough. Theme picks a side. Theme asserts predictive outcome. It says, in this struggle, nature always gets the best of man. It predicts that hammock is going to mess that fat guy up, for realsies. Theme does more than merely showcase conflict. Theme puts its money on the table. Thank you, everybody. Finnley, you want to come take a bow? You want to come take a bow? That's it. Thank you. You can push stop now.